What's up? Been a while. So, been a busy guy. Been a busy guy. It's been a busy last few weeks. So bad. I have, thankfully, been able to go to the movie theater. Went to go see Wrath of Man yesterday because I was bored. That new Jason Statham movie, right? I don't think he has anything. Yeah, the new Jason Statham movie. So Jason plays this man named H, and H quits his day job and gets a 9 to 5 driving cash trucks, and he's working his way through there trying to figure out what led to an event that took a lot away from him. So this is pretty much a revenge flick. You know what I'm saying? Very much a revenge flick, and you get to see just the wrath of Maine. You know what I mean? So straight off the bat, movie starts with like this cash truck heist, and some people get caught up in it. So this is the intro to like the cash truck company, and like the two drivers like die. This film's directed by Guy Ritchie, who the Guy Ritchie movies I know were Sherlock Holmes. That was cool. That wasn't bad. Robert Downey Jr. was good in that. The second one looked terrible, so I never saw it. But the first one that was entertaining for Redbox, for a Redbox movie. I think it's on Netflix now, but whatever. Anywho, and then I'm forgetting something else he just did. I don't know why. Oh well. And he'll probably come to me later. Anyhow, so yeah, H plays this guy, gets a 9 to 5, like a sucker working the capitalist system, transporting money, and he comes across. He's a very trained guy. It's Jason Statham movie, so he's obviously like got some background to him where he's man's just a badass. I guess like it's Jason Statham. He's just a you know him from the transporter, and he usually does good stuff. But this movie was not for me. That was not hidden. There was no like martial arts scenes. You're trying to see him fight. It's mostly just like shootouts and shit. So you're just like, ah. So most of them are pretty generic. Pretty generic. The side characters are all kind of I don't know, just weirdly masculine white dudes. You know what I mean? Those bros, the bros. You get into the locker room with like the cash trucks, and it's just nothing but dick jokes. And you're just like, man, this isn't it. This is not it. It was pretty boring. And there's a guy in there named Bullet. Can't remember who guys played by. The only person I know in this movie, the only two faces that I know in this movie is Jason Statham as he plays H, and Mother's Milk, who I don't know his name besides MM. So that's like the only two people in this movie, and they do good jobs. They do their job. Like Jason Statham, he's silent. He's got a good look going for him. Like it just works for him. He's just silent, and he's like looks like he always got a problem. And it's kind of funny because you remember he's just like I think he's like 5'8". So you're just like man, and I'm 6 foot, so I'm like taller than him. So you're just like the small guy. But he'd be fucking people up in movies. It looks good, but this movie did not have any of that shit. So it was I went in there thinking so like a lot of shit was about to go down. And like toward the end, the last like 30 minutes when he kind of picks up, but it's very dry up until that like last big stretch toward the end when it finally hits that 6 gear. It's just like, yeah, we're at first part of the story. We're at the second, and then there's like a midway through the movie. There's this long ass recut. Like it goes back in time, and I'm just like, man, this is a very long flashback, and like it explains the plot, pushes it forward, it does its job, but it's also like extra dry. So this stuff is pretty lackluster in my opinion. Aside from the side characters, NPCs were trash. I got, whew, they were trash. There's this ragtag team of like crash truck like robberies. I don't know. I wonder how deep that circuit is because it's like that's a little industry right there. People who just plan robbing cash trucks all day. Is it worth it? I might think about it. Would you do it if you could? If you thought you could get away with it, how would you do it? Because that's it's a lot of speed to work with. And when are you gonna hit them? You know what I mean? Like You got to pull up on them decked out. I'm like, what do these people do all day? They just have, I don't know. There's probably a market for that. The undercover cash truck thief ring. Kind of cool. It's a different concept. You don't see too much of that. I just remember back in like the mid thousands, like a few of them got shot or something like that. And it was all over the news for a minute. You're like, damn, a couple of ATM guys got hit. So this movie feels kind of late in comparison to like that already happened, like way back when. And then now it's just like, eh. But then Jason Statham's like gun shootout scenes were like, yeah, it's just shooting back and forth, you know. You see it like one too many times. So I'd give this movie about, acting wise, that guy Bullet. Bullet is a problem. There's the guy in there now is named Bullet. I don't know why they don't really explain why he's named Bullet. I thought it was because he'd be like the gun inspector, but he's like his coach for the whole movie while he's teaching him the job. So this guy Bullet is, I think his net's because he does not stop talking whenever you see him in the movie. This man is like usually like he does at certain moments, okay, but when it's just like him talking, making dialogue or something like that, because Jason Statham doesn't talk, so he's just going a mile a minute. So he just got extended magazine of the mouth, and it's just flying, and a whole lot of nothing is happening when he's talking. So it gets very annoying after a while. But in the end, the movie ends. Does it wrap up the story pretty well? It does. So I'll give it that. Very much. The story's not hard to understand. You just put it together after a while. Like, oh, okay. There's nothing shocking going on. Some good twists and turns. So it's definitely a good movie if you're trying to like, just watch it once. Just watch it once. I give it a 1 out of 5, but I sat through it. So I want you to suffer like I did. So watch it once.